and they love to train, and they love to just be together as a kind of a community.
Yeah, we have a huge volleyball community here at York, ranging from beginners to college players. I'm pretty sure our college community is larger than the uni one, and a lot of college players have come to support today, even though it's so early. You know, the crowd is a little smaller than it was yesterday, but with that being said, they're still just as loud. It's really nice to see when, you know, someone's hitting in only the warm-up and they're still shouting and cheering for them. It's just like right now, it's just so nice to see that level of encouragement, and I really think it sparks a little bit of confidence in the players to see that they have that unwavering support from the audience.
I mean, it's pretty early in the morning, so it's really nice to see that there's still a really good crowd down here ready to support.
Yes, of course, it makes a massive difference whether you have kind of energy on court or the support of your audience as well. We can definitely say that our teams have always been able to perform better with a little bit of support and encouragement. It makes an enormous difference whether you have that energy, whether you have that confidence in yourself, whether you know the audience has confidence in you, and that you're going to be able to keep your energy throughout the match.
Yeah, I mean, we can see that a lot of the players are hitting really deep shots, so deep line, deep cross, or out. Jude Race just hit out, which, you know, is a bit unfortunate, but it happens. That's why you warm up. And as I said, Alex Lara, you know, he's a great player. That was a great hit.
It must be difficult, like, balancing the kind of power needed to get it into the opposition.
I think
control and not letting it go out.
I think that a lot of the warm-up I would say that it's a lot of the players showing off just a little bit. You know, they want to get they want to get the vibes up. They want to get the cheers going. Like, that's Aiden Anderson right there, the middle, and then his counterpart on the Lancaster side. So now we're moving on to serving. So the players are going to warm up the serves, and then the liberos are going to stay on court. So libero number 97, Gordon on the just getting absolutely obliterated by a ball.
Bit of dodgeball there.
And then Lucas Churchill should be on the other side shortly, receiving those serves as well. And the whole aim of this is for them to pass the ball and get ready for serve receive, which is essentially when the other team is serving. When a team is serving on you, you'll move into serve receive. So you basically need to dig that ball up, set it, and then kill the ball, and that's how you score a point. And serve receive can be one of the hardest things to get out of, especially if they have a really tough server that hits really hard, or serves really deep, or is, you know, a very controlled server. It can be really hard to combat that.
I was watching the game yesterday, and I was also full of, like, so much respect for the person that has to go up and do the serve, because obviously it's just you, and, like, all the eyes, everyone watching is just, like, on that person taking the serve. And I was like, that would feel like so much pressure to have to step up and take it.
Yes, it's as you said, Emilia. The service is the only time when a player can score points on their own in volleyball, because obviously the rest of the time you're playing with a team of 6. But when you go up to serve, you really are kind of all alone, and it does tend to be a lot of pressure. But we spend a lot of time training our serves. I'm sure the Lancaster players do as well. As you can see, some excellent serves are going on from both teams here. But if you do score a point just from your serve alone, that is what you call a service ace. And it's very fun because you feel this incredible sense of achievement because you've just scored a point all on your own. The crowd does tend to go crazy for those service aces.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't really serve as a libero, so I wouldn't know what it feels like. But I do know what it feels like to dig up a good ball. And, you know, Lucas has been doing a great job. Gordon just passed an absolute dime. You know, it's players are still walking in, representing their home countries. It's really nice to see that they're getting ready for the next game. And with that, we have officially concluded the warm-up. So the players are going to huddle now. They're going to collect themselves, calm themselves.
And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome to the Roses live coverage of the Volleyball Second Open. So the players have just finished their warm-up, so they should hopefully be on the court pretty soon. Very exciting. York versus Lancaster on the third and final day of Roses. I believe the score currently is 164 to Lancaster, 123 to York. In terms of volleyball so far, York have won both of their matches, so they'll be keen to kind of continue that winning streak while Lancaster will obviously be wanting to put a win in the volleyball. So yeah, it should be a really exciting game for those of you who are also new to volleyball. We've got 6 players on each side, and they are allowed a maximum of 3 consecutive touches, after which they have to send the ball into the opposition's half. So the rally hopefully continues until one of the teams commits a fault or if the ball hits the ground. And as you can see, the crowd are really getting excited now. It's a really exciting atmosphere. Yeah, so excited for it to get underway as well.
Yeah, so with that being said, you know, the crowd is going wild. They're getting ready to walk onto the court now. The referee, Diane Hollows, she's an amazing ref. She refs both internationally and nationally. She's actually the person that qualified both myself and Orly as refs. And she is amazing. And then our second ref is Aileen Barry. She plays for the University of Bradford. And I think they're both quite confident refs, so the calls should be good. I think we've had some issues in the past with refs, but I think there weren't any complaints yesterday. And we can hear the infamous Yorkshire chant starting on court right now.
How do you manage your kind of feelings in this moment? Because it must be a lot of nerves.
I think all the players are really nervous right now, and they're just trying to kind of mask that. So on the Lancaster side, we have number 86, number 85, number 92, 83, and 84, and 74 on court. Gordon stepping on their libero, 97. Number 9, Finley Beattie to serve with a nice little jump float. Their middle shanks the first ball, and that is a service ace to York.
So if you don't know, a shank is what happens when a player tries to pass the ball but doesn't use the correct technique, and the ball goes to the side and nobody else is able to connect with a second pass.
Finley Beattie to serve again with another nice jump float. The libero, Gordon, passes it. It's tight on the net. A set and a hit from Alex. Like I said, he is the player to watch. That was a great hit just off the block.
As you can see there, or if you can see, there was a block out on the other side in which the ball touched the block, but it went immediately out. So now it is Lancaster's turn to serve.
The teams are playing 25 points. The first 4 sets, are played till one team scores 25 points. And if the teams are tied at 2 sets...
Lancaster just lost the point to a foot fault. But the line judge is contesting that. The referee saw it, and then the line judge is saying that there was not a foot fault. However, the first ref can overrule the call of the referee. And now we can see Anna Berry. She was actually the captain of the women's second team last year. She's line judging this game. She's going up to talk to the ref. It would be quite embarrassing if the captain has just gone up to serve and foot faulted on the first serve of the game. So I think she's revoked that call, and I think she's letting the point, so that will probably be a replay. So no point to either team. The captain, Eric, to serve again, number 83. Nice little jump float, and a shank from York.
Yes, so as you can see, they have, the York side has shanked the ball. Once again, a shank is a touch in which the ball goes off to the side of the court. Nobody else is able to connect for a set, meaning that Lancaster is once again up to serve.
And if you're just joining us, the score is currently 3-1 in terms of points in the first set.
A hit out. That's really quite unfortunate from York. I think they're still getting into the swing of things. I think they're quite nervous. I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if I saw that correctly, but I think Sean set that, and he's not their setter, so he shouldn't have been doing that. So I think they're playing out of system. Their setter served again. A nice dig. Finley to set. Sean to hit. A block. Touch. He's picked it up. And Lucas just let it drop right in front of him. That's a communication error on York's side, which is quite unfortunate, but I think the nerves are getting to them a little bit.
So it's kind of working out like where you are on the floor and kind of responsibility for what I guess is a difficult thing.
Yeah, it can be quite difficult to communicate that, especially with a noise. So the setter to serve again. A nice little jump float. Beautiful pass. A set from Finley. A tip from Sean. The setter's out. That means the lib is setting. Alex to hit again. The ball is out.
Of course, something to keep in mind is that with 6 players on court, communication is vital between these players. So, as you can see, Sam is up to serve, and a nice float.
Received by the middle. And then a nice little roll shot into the court. Finley to set. Number 5. The ref is calling a point to Lancaster. There were 4 touches, no touches on the block. Essentially, that's actually quite a common call to make. It's an error on York's side because, unfortunately, they've played the ball just onto the net and not above it, which means that Lancaster have not touched it. Alex Lara, their secret weapon to serve. A nice serve. And
that was very clever over the net.
Point to Lancaster. He just stopped that play altogether.
So 7 points to Lancaster, 2 to York so far in the first set.
Yeah, I think York are quite frazzled, but I'm confident that they'll be able to make a comeback once they feel a little bit more comfortable. Alex Lara to serve again. A nice pass, tight on the net, and then number 92 just tipping it straight over.
Yes, unfortunately, sometimes you have what is called an overpass, in which the serve-receive passes the ball too close to the net, meaning that the other side are able to block it straight down. And they've just gone for a timeout.
So when you call timeout, what are you kind of doing in those moments?
So during a timeout, that's really where you want to collect yourself. And I think at this point, York really just wants to take a breather. I think the coach is probably just going to be giving them some words of encouragement. He's probably going to be saying, calm down, guys. You know how to play. Like, I think one of the most critical things about volleyball is just, as cliche as it sounds, it's like you just need to play volleyball. You know, you need to go back to your basics. You dig the ball, you set it, and you kill it. And that's how you get a point. And I think that's what George is telling them now. I think they're coming back onto the court looking much more confident now. You can see it in their faces. They're less scared. But with that being said, they have the weapon of Lancaster is serving again. So Alex is getting ready to serve. A nice little jump float. However, it is out, and that is what a timeout is all about. It's to throw off the other team, compose yourself, and then 99% of the time, the other team will be hitting that serve out.
Yes, we have these tactics in between points as well, where you try to take your time and make the other team miss their serve. So the point has just gone out, which means that it is now York's turn to serve.
So the reason that was York's point is because the ball went outside of the antenna, which is a fault. For some reason, Lancaster's middle is passing every single ball, and notoriously middles are considered to be the worst passers on the team. Orly's actually a middle, funnily enough. A beautiful dig from Gordon, and then set just over. That was an error. So set over and out, making it York's point. However, that was still a great pass from Gordon.
It's really nice to see those rallies. Really exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that we're making so many mistakes, like on both sides. That was a great hit, great block, and a great up from Gordon. So they're resetting, getting ready to kill the point. Tion to hit, great up. Finley to set, Sean to hit. Block touch, Alex just shanking that ball out. Really.
Getting the crowd involved, maybe getting that confidence up a little bit.
I think Sean, number 5, he's one of our most vocal players. I don't know if any of you were watching our stream yesterday, but for those of you that weren't, Sean was the pinnacle of the game. Like, he was just phenomenal. So they're middle passing again. Set, and then dug up by our middle, York's middle, and then that's in from York. You can see Sean, he's freaking out. He's riling up the crowd. It's absolutely phenomenal.
So current score 8-7. So York, they're coming back after that timeout. Seems to have really helped them kind of fix some of those errors, build on that confidence.
Yeah, so we do say that this is the purpose of a timeout, is to have a chat with your team and have your coach kind of give you a bit of a pep talk so that you are able to get your energy back, get your flow back, go back to your basics and remember your skills. So the ball has just gone out from York's side, which means it is now Lancaster's turn to serve again. So their number 92 is up to serve. If you're watching, he has very brightly colored shoes. And a lovely serve.
Nice pass from Sam Ip, Finley to set, Sean to hit, and he just absolutely smacks that ball down, point to York. The block was nowhere to be seen, the cover was nowhere to be seen. Lancaster just let that ball drop right into their court. Now Sean, number 5, to serve. Lancaster getting ready to pick that ball up. He's got a nice little jump float. Gordon picks it up. Eric, Alex to hit. Lucas, the libero, nice up. Finley's set. Tion to hit, block, and then they just want to nice and carefully get it over. Sean picks that ball up. Finley to set. Dan to hit, but there was definitely a net touch right there. Point to York, ball touch. The net was touched from Lancaster. We actually need to get the match ball because it's gone out. So just bear with us for 2 seconds.
Yes, in the meantime, here's a fun fact about Middle. They are notorious for touching the net. Obviously, they have a lot of close contact with the net because they have to be there to block. And very often, a spike can actually turn into a net touch.
Sean to serve again, the middle passing again, and that was nice pass. Wow, the middle from Lancaster absolutely smacking that ball down.
And if you're just joining us, this is the first set of the Volleyball second open, and it's 10 points to Lancaster, 9 to York in the first set. So all to play for.
I think I've just realized that I've been referring to the wrong person as the middle, because from the back they actually look quite similar. They both have quite long hair and the man bun. So that's my bad, guys. But we have a serve from Lancaster, a nice jump float. Everybody's jump floating today. A dig set from York, and then Tion just setting that ball straight into the net. Lucas is trying to really rile up his team, bring them together in that huddle, clearing their heads.
With the jump float.
So a jump float is, I think Orly's probably better off at explaining what a jump float is.
So this is a type of serve. Obviously, you have different kinds of serves, all with kind of different purposes. So a jump float is essentially a float where you are jumping to hit the ball, but you toss the ball quite low and you aim to hit it in the center with an open palm, so that instead of making a kind of straight downwards trajectory, you can see that it kind of floats side to side.
Yeah, so Lancaster absolutely just demolishing that ball straight down, but that was a great rally. Lucas picked the ball up nicely, but unfortunately it was just not enough. The Lancaster team were just on the net, on the block.
They just took over. So impressive. It's really hard to get to in time.
It is really hard to combat that. Another jump float up from Sam Ip. Lucas setting it, Tion to hit, and that looks like it's going to be out. So point to Lancaster, unfortunately. Oh no, not unfortunately. Sorry, guys. But this is a series of services that is quite hard to combat. So York now needs to side out, which means to kind of get their heads in the game, and that's out. So that's actually really lucky for York, because now they have the opportunity to come back and move into the next rotation. And they have a really strong server coming in now, number 89, Tion. He's kind of a mix of a lot of different positions. He dabbles in setting and hitting. He's also a really good passer. So he'll probably top spin, jump serve. Yep, lovely pass. Nice up by Alex, nice set, and then just pushing the ball over. Finley with a beautiful set, and then a crazy block, but Finley got that. That was really, really phenomenal. That was a crazy block from Lancaster, but you can still see that that York are hustling to get that ball up, which is really, really nice to see.
And when they're kind of like the teamwork between the kind of members of the team, and they're trying to set each other up for the smashes, will that be kind of, will they have gone over that before, or is it just kind of working out on the day the kind of weaknesses where they think that it's a good place to go for it?
It does depend on what kind of attacker you are. So outsides generally tend to hit from the far side of the court, while middles always hit from the middle of the court straight on the net. And this is something that is obviously very much practiced in training. There are different kinds of sets, different kinds of attacks in order to place the ball in different spots on the court and really try to catch out the other team.
Wow, what a dime from Gordon. And then a hit from the middle. That was a beautiful, beautiful back set from the setter. And then a lovely hit from the middle.
So it's 15 points to Lancaster, 11 to York, and a reminder they're playing for 25 points in this first set.
So we have number 86 to serve. That looks like it's going to be out, and it is. And the libero comes back on. They're getting ready for serve receive. The setter, Finley Beattie, to serve again.
If you're wondering what a libero is, they're wearing different uniforms. So if you're watching the stream and you can see different T-shirts, they can sub in for any member.
Speaking of which, the libero Gordon just dimed that pass. Alex to hit, block from York, but it goes out. So that is also quite common. You'll see that sometimes hitters will try to hit at the block, but try to tool the block, essentially meaning that they're trying to hit to the side of their hands to make that ball go back out to their side, but out, which makes it Lancaster's point, which is what they did pretty exceptionally, actually. So setter to serve, captain to serve. Tian with a beautiful up. Aiden to hit, and that was out. It's currently 17-12 to Lancaster. It's really hard for, York just calling a timeout. They're making it really hard for them to kind of lock in, and it's really hard when you have such good servers on the opposition.
It's unfortunately the disadvantage of being as tall as somebody like Aiden is that very frequently, if you are not using the correct technique, really kind of trying to snap your wrist around the ball may go out. So that is why you have the kind of proper hitting mechanics. If your aim is to hit down, but obviously if you are quite tall, there is often a chance that it may go out.
So yeah, the teams are having a timeout, just regrouping. We're in the first set, and it's 17 to Lancaster, 12 to York. For the first 4 sets, it's the first to 25 points. So yeah, they're just coming back on. You can see them kind of, both teams kind of hyping each other up, being like, let's go again, let's regroup. I mean, it's such a kind of physically demanding sport that I can imagine it's kind of, you need to keep kind of getting that motivation and kind of back up again.
Yeah, the captain Eric to serve again, a nice little jump float. Tion with a lovely pass, Finley with a set. That looked like it could have been a double. And then Gordon to set, pushing it deep. Tion picking the ball up, Finley to set, Sam Ip to hit. And they just let it drop. That's really a shame when that happens, when there's just a lack of communication on the team, because someone has gone and dug that ball up, and then there's 3 people just watching it drop, which is really quite unfortunate.
I think it's great to see like the players celebrating every point like so much. You can see what it means to them.
Sam Ip with a top spin serve. Nice pass from Gordon, and a dime actually, and then Sean picks that up. Sam Ip sets, Tion to hit, a block out. Like I mentioned earlier, that's what Lancaster just did to York, and York just did to Lancaster. So they hit right on the side of the block, meaning that the ball goes out on their side, so that the opposition can't go and receive that. Sam Ip to serve again. Sam Ip has a lethal serve. He's probably one of the players to watch for this game. He's a bit of an underrated player. Look at that serve, forcing Gordon to overpass it. Sean to hit, right in, up, the hustle from Lancaster. Finley to set, Tion to hit, into the net, unfortunately.
You could really see the power on that serve there. They had to like dive right down to get it.
Yeah, it is one of the, I would say.
And if you're just tuning in, the score is currently 18-14 to Lancaster, as we've been saying so far. The teams are quite evenly matched, but yes, welcome if you are just joining us now.
Been a really great game so far, very energetic. There's a really good crowd in the arena. So yeah, it's been great to watch. I think the teams have settled into it more now. There was more kind of errors at the beginning, but I think you can see the kind of confidence growing on both sides.
Yeah, that's a nice up, and then the middle to just tipping it right over the net. Finley to set, Tion to hit, but he just sets it over. That was great use. Eric to set, and then they're just hitting the ball. Oh, yeah. The ref called a double, which is a fault in volleyball. It essentially means that you contacted the ball twice, which is illegal because it can give you an advantage on how you're placing the ball. So you really want to get under the ball and position your hands correctly. So the setter setting, Alex Lara hitting pipe, which means he's hitting from the back court. And then Sam Ip just lovely rolling that ball over. Alex to set that ball over again. There's a little bit of miscommunication on the York side. Tion to hit. That's form. Correct call from the ref. They just hit straight into the net. And then the ball just dropped back on the York side. So that's a point to the Lancaster side. And the crowd is chanting, "You can't do that," because you can't do that.
Getting pretty close now to that magic 25 points, which is what you need to get to win a set. So it's 19 to Lancaster, 16 to York. So I guess that will be playing on their mind a bit now. Really want to stop Lancaster.
Serve into the net from number 92, Lancaster. Sean is going up to serve now. The score is 17 to York, 19 to Lancaster. Nice serve from Sean, but unfortunately it is out. That is a real shame with a lot of the male and like open players. They do tend to hit out because they're just a little bit more powerful. It's much more rare to see a women's team hitting out. But with that being said, if you use the correct technique, you shouldn't be hitting out. So Lancaster to serve. And that is out. So we're just going serve out, point for point.
It's very kind of even at the moment, which it makes it a really fascinating game to watch. Should mention as well that a lot of these players, it's their first Roses playing competitively. So I think that also maybe factors in as well, like kind of playing in front of a really big crowd for the first time, the pressure of Roses as well.
Tian to serve. It was a little bit of an off contact, but it was still really, really nice. Sam getting that up, and then Sean hitting it. Gordon digging the ball up. Eric setting it. And then it's a little roll shot, and it just falls short of Sam Ip, unfortunately. Sorry, guys.
It does feel like Lancaster's very good at getting it, just that little bit over the net where it's really hard for York to get there in time.
Yeah, York really should be pushing to cover the ball a little bit more, so they need to be stepping up onto the court just a tiny bit more to get those short balls. So there we have a rolling serve, and then Finley dig setting, a push from Tian. And Eric to set, Alex to hit, and that is it! I mean, like I said at the start, he is the player to watch. His hits are just insane.
Yeah, so he has just done a really fabulous cut shot. If you don't know, a cut shot is where you angle your wrist in order to get the ball right into the corner of the other side's court. And Lancaster has just served Finley Beatty up to set, and a nice hit from Sam, but unfortunately gets blocked, and he tips it.
And then Eric setting the ball. There's a nice little hit, and it's in.
And we were just being really impressed with the player 84 on the Lancaster side, which seems doubly impressive when apparently he's playing Roses with 3 injuries. They don't seem to be making much of an impact today. He's playing really well.
Yeah, I mean, he's wearing his knee brace as probably 80% of volleyball players do. I mean, my knee is taped up for my game later on today. I think Finley also has his knee brace on. A nice little jump serve, but out. He is definitely a player to watch today.
So if you're joining us, we're at the Arena 3 at the York Sports Centre. It's York versus Lancaster in the Volleyball Second Open. Lancaster currently have 23 points in this first set. They need 25 to win the set.
Daniel Robinson to serve, and that is just out. The chant is, how far out? This far. And it is now set point to Lancaster, number 86 to serve, but they're subbing the setter off.
Yeah, so for those of you who are just joining us, the scoring system goes up to 25 points per set, and the team needs 3 sets in order to win. So we are currently at set point, which means that Lancaster has 24 points. They only need 1 more to win this set. They have just subbed in number 81, who is going to serve. What will happen?
A nice little clean jump float, Finley to set, and a crazy block from the Lancaster side. He's right there, mocking the York team. A little bit of fun from the Lancaster side. It's always great to see. And with that, Lancaster take the first set, I think 25-19 it was?
Yeah.
Something like that.
25-19. I mean, obviously, there's still a long way to go in this game, but it's nice if you're Lancaster to have taken that first set. That gives you a lot of confidence. But I guess York will be like, there's still a lot to go. They can win this back. I think yesterday in the men's, Lancaster won the first set, and then York won the next 3 to win.
Yeah,
so it's all to play for at this point.
So funnily enough, that is one of the women's team's specialties. So reverse sweeps are when essentially one team wins the first 2 sets, but the opposition wins the next 3 in a row. And the women's second team has done that twice this year, so I feel like I can say that we specialize in reverse sweeps. So I wouldn't be too shocked if we lost the first 2 sets and then won the next 3. However, with that being said, losing the first set can be both detrimental and encouraging to a team. Like, I think it might give Lancaster a bit of a false sense of hope, so they might kind of take their foot off the pedal a little bit, whereas now for York, they're thinking, we need to step it up, we need to play better. But, you know, in the case of Roses, I would assume and I would hope that both teams are saying, let's keep it up, let's keep going, let's pedal to the metal, you know?
Yes, with a 5-set game, there's really no telling what will actually change the pace. So if you have won the first set, you know, it's like Maya said, there's no telling whether that will just incense you to continue on to get 2 more, or whether it will cause you to kind of put your guard down a little bit. It is kind of quite difficult to keep your energy up all the way through a 5-set game, especially if it's really tight. These games can take up to 2 hours, 2.5 hours even. So there's really no telling what will happen. The first set doesn't really mean anything in the deciding of the outcome of the game just yet. But we are still in our timeout. If you don't know, timeouts are 30. Oh, sorry, not timeout. We are still between sets. If you don't know, between sets, the teams get 3 minutes to kind of reconvene with their coaches, with each other, to discuss their strategy and all that, and just to take a quick break. They will have to switch sides before the start of the next set. And as you can see, the crowd is just loving the match so far.
Can that make a big difference, switching sides? Can that make a big difference, switching sides?
It can, and it actually, there's generally, I mean, inside the arena, there's really not much that can affect you either side of the court. It is more just of just a legal thing, really.
It also has to do in terms of comfortability, I think, because in training, for example, we like starting on the far side of the court. So, and the women's first team like starting on the near side of the court if you're facing it head on. And it might sound weird and superstitious to say, but I actually do think it can have an impact on the players. And a really common tactic that we see in volleyball is the opposition, if they lose the coin toss at the start of the game, they'll switch sides, just throw the other team off for no particular reason, just to make them pick up all their stuff and move to the other side. Because obviously if you lose the coin toss, I don't want to say 100% of the time, but it is 100% of the time, the winning team will pick to serve. So if you, for the coin toss, you either choose to serve or to pick the side. And then obviously they always choose to serve first because that gives their team an advantage.
We're about to, sorry to interrupt, we're about to get underway again in the second set of the Volleyball Second Open. Lancaster to serve.
A nice little jump spin, and then a shank. Sean chasing the ball and just running straight into the glass
Almost
wall.
took out the media team.
Yeah, the media team was looking like a ghost. They looked quite scared, but that is a really, really good serve from number 85, Elliot Smith. He studies, I think it is ecology and conservation. So that's actually quite interesting. And his fun fact is that his swag is too different. And his swag is pretty different with that serve. Tian to hit, and that was out. Point to Lancaster. It is currently 3-0 to Lancaster at the start of the second set. They have a really good server who is jump spinning. We've got that Yorkshire chant going on.
Really good crowd, actually.
Yeah, considering how early it is in the morning, it is a pretty good crowd. Sean calling the ball out. That is essentially his job most of the time. An opposite will be calling the ball out. So now Finley BT number 9 to serve. Finley has had a phenomenal season so far. He's really excelled as a player this year. And Alex passing the ball, Eric setting, and Alex to tip. And that is a block from Sean. He's doing the same by mocking them back. I think it's all in a bit of fun, you know. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, if you're listening to this via radio and you can't see the stream, I think it's really worth mentioning like how excited the players are. Like both sides, whenever they score a point, you can see what it means to them.
Ooh, Gordon falling over, but getting the ball up, and then a hit from the back row. Finley to set. Finley's setting has been impeccable today, and that is a great hit from Sean. There's Lucas hyping the crowd up, turning to the crowd, telling them to get louder, and then the bench from York is also being equally just as loud. So now York has brought that back from a good serve. I think it was 2-0 to Lancaster. Now it's 3-2 to York. So Finley serves have really helped his team. He just looks like he's composing himself, getting ready to serve, wiping his hands on his shorts, and just taking a deep breath in right before his lovely little jump serve. A nice set, and that is a back row hit. up from Finley, and then a nice little roll shot from Tion off the block, and it falls just right in front of Alex.
You saw the libero go down there, but just wasn't in the right place to get that. An interesting fact about York, they're actually coached by an England volleyball player, George Fraser. So I'm sure that's given them some really useful coaching advice, and also it must be quite inspiring if you're being coached by an England player as well.
Yes, George has been an excellent coach this season so far. He is a very talented and very helpful coach. Oh, and it's just rolled off the net. And a back row attack, and Sean gets it up. Finley sets it. Ooh, and Dan has been blocked.
Yeah, that is quite unfortunate, but you can see the hustle. It's really unfortunate for the York team, but it's really nice to see that both teams are really hustling to get that ball up, because Finley's serve just clipped the net, and most of the time the opposition will not be receiving that ball because they will not expect it to drop that short. Serve from Lancaster, Finley to set, middle set, Dan to hit, Eric kind of just back digging that ball, Lucas with a beautiful, beautiful pass, Sean to hit, straight down, straight back up from Lancaster, bit of an odd dig, and then Lucas to set, ooh, and then that is a hit from the middle, but blocked by Lancaster. Finley is now out of the, oh, and then Sean just sets that ball nicely over. Middle hit, touch. There was definitely a touch there, so that is Lancaster's point.
So if you're joining us, this is the Roses live stream of the volleyball second open game. We are at the York Arena 3, and we are in the second set. Lancaster took the first set. It's currently 4 points to both teams in the second set. They have to get 25 points to win the first 4 sets. It's best of 5 sets. So far, a really exciting game, very evenly matched.
So Eric to set, Alex to hit, and just tooling the block again. He is a really, really, really strong hitter. Like I said at the start of the stream, I think he's going to be Lancaster's secret weapon.
Yeah, so something that's very important as a hitter is knowing how to manipulate the block on the other side, because if you do not know where to place your hit on the block, they will just block it straight down into the court. So Lancaster has just served again.
Finley to set, but unfortunately it was a bit off, so they just had to dig that ball over. Eric to set, Alex hit, and they blocked it straight down. Daniel Robinson blocks that ball straight down. Sean mocking the opposition again. That was still a great hit though, just unfortunate that he couldn't tool the block a little bit better. So now it's number 89, I think, Tion to serve. So the crowd is hyping him up. He's got a jump spin serve, going straight down. Eric hustling to get the ball up, but unfortunately it goes behind him.
So that has just been effectively an ace, as the Lancaster side has just shanked the ball. If you are just joining us, the score is currently 6-5 to York, so it's been a very tight game so far. Lancaster have won the first set, but York is making an excellent comeback.
So number 89, Tion to serve again. He's doing his little service routine, getting ready to serve. The crowd is hyping him up. Nice little jump spin serve. Eric to set, Alex to hit. Oh, there was a net touch, and the point goes to York. We can see Jonah Mackey, the libero from the men's first team. And then we can also see the crowd joining him, saying that you can't do that, because like I said earlier, you cannot do that. Tion getting ready to serve again. It's really, really hard when the opposition has a really good server. So York right now with Tion, he has a pretty hard topspin to receive. And then that is just received nicely from Lancaster. And then there's a roll shot, but it is out from Lancaster. Now would definitely be a good time for Lancaster to call a timeout.
And number 89 is post-grad, so there's a good mix of both post-grad, undergrads on both teams actually.
Yeah, I think our women's first team and then our open second team are probably the teams with the most post-grads and master students. And you can just tell the experience. And that is a shank from their libero, Gordon. And you can see how Tion is just riling the crowd up. Really? And the chant is, to the window, to the wall, we saw you shank that ball. And then you can see Sean, even from the bench. Oh, Lancaster have just called a timeout. Like I said before, it is a good time for them to call a timeout, especially when you have such a difficult serve to receive.
So maybe just to recap while we're having this timeout, we're in the second set. 9 points to York and 5 to Lancaster. Lancaster took the first set. So yeah, they've really come back strongly, I think, York, after that first set.
Yeah, and it's just so nice to see the crowd really connecting with the players here. They do always say that the crowd will reflect your energy on court rather than the other way around. So all the points that they have been racking up on the York side has gotten the audience all riled up. The crowd is really excited and they're bringing all their best chance to make this a really, really exciting game.
So Tion getting ready to serve again. So if that timeout worked at all from Lancaster, he will miss this serve. But hopefully he'll stay composed. And in that huddle, his team was just giving him some words of reassurance. So the Yorkshire chant, and it is into the net.
It is hard to take that serve with everyone's eyes on you. You've got all the chance as well. The focus is entirely on you. It's a lot of pressure.
That is the purpose of the timeout, to throw the server off their game. And like I said earlier, it works 99% of the time. So their captain, Eric, to serve, number 83. Nice little jump float. It received Finley putting that ball nice and high, and then a roll shot from Sam Ip. Gordon setting the ball out of system, and it's just set right over. Lucas the libero, Sean tipping the ball. Oh, a little bit of miscommunication there, but the ball is being dug over, and that is a free ball to York. The middle setting, and then a tip straight over.
And I think if you're watching the stream and you saw number 5 there, like, hit the floor, you get a sense of just how physical this game is and how physically demanding it is. You go taking kind of repetitive knocks as well. But you've got to pace yourself. You've got to be able to kind of maintain that energy throughout. We're only in the second set.
It's the nice thing about volleyball. It is just such a fast-paced game, which makes it really exciting. And number 83 from Lancaster has just served with a shank from Lucas, but Finley gets it up with his foot.
Finley, the football player, turned volleyball player, and then Dan smashing the ball straight down. So a fun fact about Finley, because we live with him, he does dabble in a little bit of football sometimes, and I think that really shone through, that's the word. But yeah, that was a great hit from Daniel, and you can really see the crowd getting riled up. Dan is just being Dan, I guess.
And yeah, I think we're ready to serve again.
A nice little jump float. Gordon digging that ball beautifully. Alex Lara to hit off the block. They need to chase that ball. Finley hustling, and then set right in the back. And then Eric to set again. Middle to hit. Out. That is York's point.
So if you weren't watching yesterday as well, the men's team yesterday had to pull off some crazy shots in order to keep their ball in play. Yesterday, the M1 captain, Jake, was seen jumping into the crowd to save a ball. So you can see how kind of competitive these games sometimes get, how exciting.
Dan to serve again, and it just clips the net right into the middle of Lancaster's court.
So it's 12 points currently to York, 7 to Lancaster in the second set. Lancaster took the first set, but I think York are really coming back in this second set. A little bit of background on the teams. Oh, I think actually we're about to serve.
Yeah,
let this happen.
That's all right. A nice little jump flow from Dan again, and that is in! Right in the corner! You can see York riling the team up. So
yeah, the York people and the fans are all on their feet. Someone's got to...
So we have Santiago, who's a James College volleyball player with a little pointer, and then Jonah Mackey, who's an M1 player, riling the crowd up. Dan to serve again. Oh, and a shank from Gordon!
I mean, number 25. Number 25 on the York team. I mean, this is his first Roses, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
So much confidence. You wouldn't know.
He's the fresher, and actually, it's funny that he's serving this well, because throughout the season, he's been serving pretty poorly.
Come together.
Yeah, so it's nice to see that, you know, after a whole season, his confidence has improved, his technique has improved, and he can really serve where it counts, where it matters, which is at Roses. Nice serve, nice up from Gordon, a nice set, and then just a hit and out.
Yes, as you can see, sometimes it can be quite difficult for the players if they are already in a losing streak of points to actually side out. So if the server has gotten a consistent string of aces or a consistent string of good serves and the points just keep coming in, they might just keep winning the points. Oh, never mind, Dan just lost the serve.
into Sam Ibb's head, bless him, and that's why the players have to cover their heads at the net. So for those of you watching the stream visually, you'll probably see that the players are going up to the net when the players are serving, and that is to screen, and also, which is technically illegal, but they're protecting their heads by putting their hands on their head. Hustle, hustle from Sam, and then Aiden just getting the ball over, and the ref not calling a lift there, even though the crowd was calling for it. Sam to tip, right into the middle, no one there to pick it up. Sam Ibb and Sean hyping the crowd up. The captain, Lucas Churchill, doing the same.
We have seen you get quite a couple of shots just very close to the net over on the Lancaster side.
So I think it's similar to what the women's first team, the Lancaster women's first team was doing yesterday. So they were just kind of putting the ball right into the middle of the court because it's really hard to pick those balls up. I think it's called the donut hole in volleyball, which is quite funny. So you'll always see players struggling to get that ball up. And that is a touch out from Sean and a point to the Lancaster team.
So it's currently 16 to York, 9 to Lancaster in this second set. Lancaster took the first set here at Arena 3 in the York Sports Arena for the volleyball second open.
Number 92, Raphael to serve with his bright yellow shoes. And that's just a little, almost roll shot serve. And then a crazy hit and a nice up from Lucas. Sean hustling to get that ball, but unfortunately he was just short of getting that ball up. We have to also think about some health and safety constraints, so we can't have players diving into the scoring table, which is, unfortunate because I'm sure he would if he could, but we don't want him to break a leg.
Interestingly, Raphael, I believe he did 2 years of beach volleyball, so he's got that experience. Maybe he's bringing that today.
Yeah, he's French and he's a first year. Oh, and that's a nice pass. And then just dug straight over from the York side. Eric to set, middle hit, and a beautiful up from the libero, Lucas. Sean to hit, touch off the block. Eric to set again, getting ready for that attack. A tip! And then sorry, my volleyball player instincts. And then a roll shot from York. The setter trying to get the ball back up. Finley setting it middle. There's a block. Eric setting up that attack again. A hit, and they receive it nicely. Not the setter setting. A tip, and then Lucas letting the ball drop. Unfortunately, I think Lucas is a little bit frazzled. I don't want to say he's quite new to volleyball, but this is his first year on the university team, and he wasn't the captain at the start of the year.
It's a lot of pressure to be captain as well.
He's only in the last couple of months been the captain of this team, so I can imagine that it's been quite a lot for him to take on, but he's still been playing phenomenally. I think it's hard to manage both your playing and the team. So that's a block from Lancaster, and they dig it straight under the net, which is a point to York.
Sean has just done a lovely back row attack. If you don't know, if you are standing in the back row on court, you are not allowed to attack in the front row. So he has just come up behind the 3-meter line and spiked it over. And now it is Sam up to serve again. Lovely float.
So if you're...
a hit and right into the back of the court.
Just to look at Roses a bit more broadly at the moment, it's currently Lancaster on 164 points, York on 127. Remember, they need 172.5 points to win Roses outright, and I think Lancaster only need 8.5 points. So they're very close, so I guess every game now could be the game that wins it. So a lot of the pressure and the excitement really ramping up.
So number 74 to serve now. Getting that ball nice and up, and then he's hitting, and then there's a block, and they block straight into the other side. Tion is hyping the crowd up. He's honestly one of our most electric players. Like, you can see his face, you can see his facial expressions, his body movements. Like, every time after he hits and it's a point, whether that's killing the ball down or whether it's a great serve, you will see that he will be hyping everybody up. It's really nice to see that. Back row pipe hit from Alex, and it is out. Again, Tion, screaming, riling the team up.
There's a lot of skill, I guess, to know when not to go for the ball because it's going to go out, not to engage with it. And pretty impressive to see that. If you're watching on the stream as well and wondering why some people are wearing different coloured t-shirts, they're the liberos. They are the defensive specialists. So, and also, as you mentioned, Churchill, who's the captain for the York team, is a libero.
Aiden is up to serve again.
Aiden to serve, Gordon to receive, Eric to set the ball, and then a hit. And unfortunately, Sam just contacted that
was very
ball.
powerful.
Yeah, it is unfortunate when they're going so fast and so hard. They're coming really hard at you. Oh, they called a back row attack, and that is York's point. I'm not really sure. I think number 74 is currently a back row player, and he hit the ball from the front court, which is an illegal play, making it York's point. I actually, funnily enough, did not notice that. I probably should have. Alex with a lovely pass, Eric to set, middle to hit, and that is block touch out.
So currently, York is on 20 points in this second set. They need 25 to win, so we're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close now to the end of the second set. York have come back really strongly, actually. I think they'll be really pleased with their performance in the second set.
Sam Ip with a nice pass, a little tight on the net, and then Aiden, not Aiden, sorry, Dan. Getting my middles confused. Alex to hit. Great block from Finley. Eric to set again, Alex to hit again, tip, and no one is there to cover.
Yes, that is quite unfortunate when that happens. The way that you set yourself up on the court can be incredibly important in making sure that the ball stays in play. So as you can see, what has just happened is that the York players have gone up to block, but they've tipped it over the block, and there was no one there to pick it up. Lancaster is now up to serve again.
And right into the net it goes. That is quite unfortunate for Lancaster, considering that, you know, after they've just scored a point, they want to start scoring more points. It's a great opportunity for them to side out, especially when they've had some very difficult serves coming at them, and it's just a little bit of a waste of a scored point to just serve into the net. But Finley returns the favor and serves right back into the net.
So if you are just joining us, the points are currently 21 to York and 15 to Lancaster. They are in the second set. Lancaster have taken the first set, but York is making a strong comeback in the second. And there seems to be some communication between Captain Lucas Churchill and the ref. But Lancaster is now up to serve again.
So a nice little jump float, and it's just on the line.
Did you think they maybe thought that was out? So
yeah.
Go for it, and then
so those are a little bit of the tougher calls. It's deciding whether or not you want to call that ball in or out. I think a general rule of thumb is if you're close to the line, you should go for the ball, even if it is just out, because you don't want to take that chance. Number 86 to serve again, Jamie Wilson, and that one was out. So that is a great call from the York team. You can kind of see that they were expecting that the first time round, which is why they let that ball drop. He is a player, Jamie is a player that tends to serve quite deep, which also ultimately does lead to him serving out
if
sometimes.
you're listening to this on the radio, he's the tallest player on the Lancaster team, 6'6", so very powerful serves.
Lovely hit right into the deep corner. That was a cross hit, which means it went diagonally across the court, right into the corner of the York side, making it Lancaster's point and making the overall score 22 to York, 17 to Lancaster, with captain Eric to serve.
More generally in the volleyball, York won both matches yesterday. Lancaster will be really keen to take this game.
Eric to serve, and it's just over. Lucas touching the ball. York will probably want to take a little step up in the next serve. Yeah, Lancaster not serving, sorry. Lancaster stealing York's chant there.
It felt like York was on a bit of a momentum. I think Lancaster's just taken that a little bit.
Yeah, so York calling a timeout, I believe. Which I think I can see George Fraser, the York coach, trying to calm the players down. He's giving them a little bit of words of encouragement, and he's also probably telling them to get their heads in gear. Like, I think he's a phenomenal coach in the sense that he not only motivates the players but also pushes them to the limits. And I can see Costas is also just in the middle right there of that huddle, probably doing the exact same thing, telling them keep going, keep pushing for those points.
George Fraser, of course, is a member of the England team, so he has a lot of experience, you know, both winning, both losing, coming back. So it's really useful to have a coach who has that playing experience.
He's definitely played under more high-pressure environments than any of the other players in here, and even though Costas is a phenomenal player, it can be quite hard to juggle the needs of the team along with your own responsibilities. Captain Eric to serve again, a nice little jump float. And Lucas not taking that step up, but
really
it is a
well
lib kill! Lucas Churchill getting the point. That is one of the rarest things to occur in volleyball.
This is something that is truly quite special because it is one of the only times in which a lib can score a point all on their own because he's just passed it straight back into the gap.
Dan Robinson to serve, Gordon to pass the ball up, Eric to set, Alex Lara to hit, and it is in! The line judge calls the ball in. And the ref, Diane Hollows, gives the point to Lancaster.
So if you're just joining us, it's 23 points to York, 19 to Lancaster in this second set. Lancaster took the first set. It's best of 5 sets.
Alex Lara to hit again. To serve again. Finley setting, block right into York's court.
Yeah, so are currently 2 points away from winning the set. York are, I apologize. But Lancaster has just taken the point. So the question is, will York make it to the end of the set?
Alex Lara, the secret weapon of Lancaster, to serve again. A nice little jump float right into the middle of the court. Tion passing the ball up. The middle, Dan to hit. That is Eric to set. And then that is just unfortunate for the York team.
I thought they had that actually on the Lancaster side.
It is a bit unfortunate when you get that block, but it falls back into your court, meaning that you still need to get that ball up and play the point out.
The crowd is really ramping up here.
Yeah, that is another timeout in the span of maybe 3 or 4 points to York. So the coach making good use of his timeouts. That is his second and final timeout. So there will be no other timeouts for the York team for the rest of this set.
Yes, and if you would like to join in at home, the chant is tea time. And then for York, what's your favorite type of tea? Yorkshire. So the teams are currently making use of this timeout to refresh themselves and possibly score 2 more points to make it to the end of the set, or perhaps Lancaster will make a comeback and take the second set as well.
I think York has a bit of momentum going on now. The crowd is really trying to hype them up and make sure that they finish this set in their favor. However, with Alex on the serve, it might be quite difficult for them to do so. So Alex to serve again, a nice serve right into the middle of the court. Sam to, and then block. Gordon picking that ball up, Eric to set. Tip right over, and York is not getting that ball again. I think that the short balls are really York's flaw in this game. We've seen it in both sets. They're really, really struggling to pick off.
Lancaster have been very good at kind of capitalizing on that.
Yeah, it's a real shame. They really should be pushing up a little bit more to get those short balls. Alex to serve again. A nice jump float. A bit of an overpass, and then there's a tip, and Lancaster just tip it straight over the net, bringing the aggregate score to 23 all.
Really great serves from number 84, who apparently is playing with, I believe, 3 injuries, so very impressive showing from him there.
Yes, and if you do not know, you actually have to win a set by 2 points in order to take that set. So now that we are all tied up, it is very possible that we will be going over 25 points in order for one of the teams to win the set. And York just pushed the ball straight into the net.
So it's currently 23 points to York, 24 to Lancaster. So the Lancaster's done a really good job coming back from behind.
Yeah, that is a pretty good comeback from Lancaster. Let's just hope that York can compose themselves to bring it back in their favor. But with Alex to serve, that is going to be quite difficult. A nice serve. Finley hustling to get the ball, but it's over, and that is in. Lancaster take the second set, and we are now switching sides.
So that was a really fascinating set to watch, just because of how Lancaster were able to come back. Because York were originally leading that second set.
Yes.
What do you think helped Lancaster clinch it? Was it just their really good use of those, capitalising on the weaknesses of the York men's team?
It is very difficult to say. As I said at the end of the last set, there is really no telling what will turn a game around like this, especially if you have a 5-set game. So what's happened at the start of this set is that York was taking the lead. They had a really strong start. They were up by about 7 points at one point. And now Lancaster has just done a complete turnaround and have taken the set at 25 to 23 points. So they now have 2 sets. They are going into their 3-minute break between the sets in which they will once again switch sides. But they now have 2 sets under their belt, which means they only need 1 more to win. This, like I said at the end of the last set, this can either be very encouraging or very discouraging, as you know, it is still possible for York to make a reverse sweep. They still have 3 more chances, essentially, to take the game, but otherwise, Lancaster only needs 1 more set in order to win.
And just to provide a little background on the Lancaster team, they're in Division 4, and they're the top team of that division, so they're, you know, experienced. They won all 8 games played. Interestingly, though, players 83 and 97, they're the only returning players on the team, so the only one with a kind of previous experience of Roses. But I don't think that actually for both teams, you wouldn't think that they had maybe. I think you would think they were more experienced players because they just haven't shown like a lack of confidence at all. They've really brought, both teams actually have really brought that game today.
Yes, I would agree. I do feel like both teams have really risen to the challenge. They're really enjoying the kind of atmosphere of Roses, and Roses does really bring out your competitive spirit, as we have seen with the audience, with the crowd, and how the teams are engaging with the crowd. But we've seen some fantastic hits and serves and sets from both Lancaster and York. So now they're coming back onto court. If you are just tuning in now, the score currently stands 2 sets to Lancaster, 0 to York, and you need 3 sets to win.
So this is a very big set.
Yes, this is going to be a very important moment where we are going to find out whether Lancaster win or whether York makes a comeback. But it seems like they are still in good spirits. We can see Dan and Roger having a fun little time at the net.
I guess the fact that like York were leading, I mean, obviously it's frustrating to then lose the set, but they know that they can do it. They know they can win the set because they were leading for quite a large part, actually, of that second set.
Yes, obviously, as by how the dynamics of the set have gone, it seems like the teams are both quite evenly matched, which means they're both very capable of taking this set. It just kind of depends on how, I would suppose it depends very heavily on your kind of confidence and your ability to stay calm under pressure.
Yeah, because we just saw like towards the end there were a little bit of errors, especially like kind of with Lancaster making these very good shots just over the net that just York didn't seem to be able to get to in time.
Yes, there have been some kind of technical errors in which the ball has been set quite close to the net, and sometimes that means that you will touch the net or you will foot fault underneath the net. So the ref has had to make some of those calls on some of those kind of sloppy technical errors. But we have high hopes for both teams this set.
Yeah, both teams really, the crowd support's been really fantastic in Arena 3. I mean, it's pretty early in the morning, but you wouldn't know, like the crowd has really brought the energy. You can hear lots of chanting, just, you know, watching lots of great signs as well.
Yes. So Finley has just served, and the Lancaster side has just tipped it over the net. Tian has pushed it back over. Nice set from Eric. Excellent hit from Alex, but Lucas has dug it up back over the net, and there's been a straight back over. Ooh, connect. York has just let it drop, unfortunately. So that means it is Lancaster's turn to serve once again with some fantastic hits we've just seen.
Before that drop, there was some excellent defence there by York, actually.
Yes.
That dive he made
some really good
impressive
effort. But now it is currently number 83, Eric, up to serve. Let's see how this will go. Ooh, and a great float serve, really low over the net. And a set, and Tiana's hit it straight into the block. The block has killed it. This is what you call a roof. So Lancaster have just created a block, roofed it straight down on the York side.
Interesting fact about number 83. Believe that he's only been playing setter since last year, so that seems very impressive what he's doing.
That is really interesting because you wouldn't believe it. And Lancaster's just gotten a no-touch ace. So if you're just tuning in and you don't know what this means, a no-touch ace is one in which one team serves and it lands in the court of the opposing side without anybody touching it. It's really quite impressive and can give the team a real confidence boost, as you can see by the crowd, which has been really excited. Yeah. They are now hyping up their server again. Ooh, who gets a nice float serve straight into the court. And unfortunately their middle Dan has not been able to tip it over the net, pushing it instead straight into the net. which means that it is once again Lancaster's turn to serve. If you are just tuning in, the score is currently 4-0 to Lancaster. Sorry, 4-0, yes, to Lancaster. Apologies. They have won 2 sets and only need a third to win. Ooh, and another no-touch ace. The ball has floated straight into the back of the court. This is really phenomenal.
83 is doing some
83 is really on something. They've really got something good going on. He is once again up to serve. Will he be able to manage another great serve?
So yeah, 83, they're a 4th-year Spanish student, and I believe that they have, like I said, they've only been playing Cessa for the last year, but they do have 3 years of experience outside of university volleyball.
Wow,
they,
and an
really
excellent quick attack, just straight from Lancaster into the other court. Will York be able to side out? Because they have now been on a consistent 6-point streak.
You can really see with the Lancaster, like their body expressions. If you're listening to this on radio, like they are really hyped up on the court. They're celebrating every point like they've won the whole game, and they're really playing off the crowd as well.
Yes, and we do say that that is quite important. Coaches always say celebrate every point, no matter how you want it, no matter how many you've gotten already, because this is what will keep the energy up, this is what will keep your confidence up, to keep you going all the way through the game. Because obviously, if you're playing a game for 2 hours, a sport that can be quite physically demanding, you may become tired, you may kind of lose your strength a little bit, but it is important to keep yourself running on this energy, on these good vibes.
And it's nice to see lots of other volleyball team members from different games here to support as well. That's really nice to see. Obviously, if Lancaster win this game, this will be their first volleyball game that they've won. York won the 2 volleyball games yesterday, so they'll be really, I mean, that also will really add kind of to their fire, their determination to win.
So will this time out cut off their serving streak? No, it will not. He has just served, and York have sent it straight back over. Set, and a nice hit from Alex, but it was blocked, and they picked it back up. And now a free ball over. Passed by Lucas, set by Finley, and a hit straight into Lancaster's court. Wow, an excellent side out from York. It is now their turn to serve after their middle has just hit an excellent quick attack. It is now Tian, number 89, up to serve from York's side.
And teams are allowed a maximum of 3 consecutive touches before they have to send it over, just if you're new to volleyball.
Wow, an excellent topspin serve, a nice set, and a great hit, but it was blocked. They pick it back up, and they push it into York's court. Oh, a tip that was picked up, and a set, and a back row tip. Finley connects with a set. Roger hits it straight into the block, but it goes out. Lancaster have just blocked the ball out, which means that it is still York to serve.
So we're in the 3rd set now, and Lancaster have 6 points, and York have 2, and then overall Lancaster have won the first 2 sets. Now it's best of 5, so if Lancaster win this set, they win.
Yes, as we saw in the last set, there's nothing that can tell how it will change. So who knows, maybe York will make their comeback in this set.
Yeah, we did see like Lancaster try to go for that spot over the net where they've had some success, but York did really well defending.
Yes, yes. Oh, a tip straight into the block, but they pick it back up, and York is setting, and Dan tips it into the block, but it hits the floor.
And the York players really celebrating as well as the crowd.
Yes, so it is still York's point, another point to York. It is still their serve. Tian is up to serve again. He will likely hit another top spin.
And he's also been doing some fantastic serves. Again, doesn't have Rose's experience, and has been really impressive as well.
Yes, I agree.
With that being said, it is Alex Lara, number 84, to serve again. So we have the megaphones in the crowd,
and
we have Kostas taking off his hoodie.
And number 84 has proved very dangerous.
That looked like it could have been out, but Lucas upped the ball anyway. Sam pushing the ball deep. Gordon with a beautiful pass. Nice set. Nice hit off the block. Finley to set. A hit from Roger, and that is York's point.
So 7 to Lancaster, 4 to York in this 3rd set so far.
I think that's pretty great for York, because they've now gotten Alex off the serve. making it much easier for them to score points.
Yeah, they have been doing well actually so far in this set. I mean, we've seen Lancaster trying. I think they'd be better at defending as well from some of the areas that Lancaster were targeting in the previous set.
Yeah, so if you're just tuning in, Lancaster had a very strong start in this set with a 6-0. Wow! If you missed that, Axel just absolutely killed the spike.
Now Axel is actually, although he might look quite intimidating after that block, he is a sweetheart. He is one of the probably sweetest players on our team. He volunteers his time to help students get home really late at night, so he walks students home. And his fun fact, I think, is that he's the second oldest player on our team, or on the York team, sorry. Only by a year, though. So he is also, I think he's a fourth-year master's student. And he's studying peace and conflicts,
which is good for a volleyball game today.
Yeah.
Maybe he can
he's just a really, really lovely guy. So serve from Lancaster just clips the net. Finley to serve with a beautiful set, blocked by Lancaster.
From number 86 on the Lancaster team.
Jamie Wilson, their middle blocker, 6'6". You'd hope he can block that ball at that height.
He does bring 5 years prior, I think, to university sport, 5 years prior volleyball experience, so I'm sure he'll be drawing on that today.
Yes, there have been some truly incredible blocks today from both Lancaster and York's side. Both of them just absolutely, wow, a no-touch ace from Lancaster.
So that's 10 points to Lancaster, 5 to York in this third set. And just a reminder, if you are joining us, Lancaster took the first 2 sets, and it's best of 5. So if they win this set, they win the game, and York really need to win this set.
Oh,
this game.
He's clip farming. That's crazy. Number 92, and it is out. How much aura is that? A lot.
It does. I think this set especially, it does seem to be kind of going very much back and forth. Like we have a little bit of Lancaster dominance, and then it seems like you're
number 13, Roger Young to serve, and a shank from Alex. Roger was a ones team player last year, but he moved down to the twos this year. I think because he wanted to focus on playing a different position, which didn't really have a lot of open space on the ones team. And it was actually last year, I think, was one of his first, if not the first year he's ever played volleyball. And he's just a really dynamic and a really, really quick player. So very coachable. He learned quick. And now you can see him with that amazing, amazing serve. Nice up from Alex, nice set from Eric, and then a hit. And it just cut, it's just a very short cut shot right off the net.
So that's 11 to Lancaster, 7 points to York in this third set. Lancaster, as just a quick reminder, took the first 2 sets.
So if you're just listening on radio, there's just been a fabulous cut shot from outside Alex, straight into York's court.
And now Benjamin, number 74, they're opposite to serve with a nice little jump float. Sam to receive, Finley to set, Sam to hit, and a beautiful pickup from Alex. And then that is a tip straight over the net from the setter. Axel just tipping the ball over. Eric to set, a hit and a block, and they block it straight back into Lancaster's court, and that is a point to York. Unfortunately, Gordon fell just short of getting that ball, but you can see as a libero, he is the defensive specialist of the team. He's wearing a different colored shirt, and he is diving for every single ball. He's hustling, he's rolling on the floor, but unfortunately that was just not enough that time.
You saw like how hard he tried to get that ball, and like quite a
disappointment
big hit
in his
from
face.
the court as well.
Oh, jump spin just straight into the net, unfortunately, from York. They really needed that momentum to push and make up that difference.
Yes, when it comes down to it, there is currently still a 4-point difference, 12 points to Lancaster, 8 to York, and it will really come down to whether or not you can get a big point difference in order to win. Lancaster has unfortunately just served it into the net, which means that it's now York to serve.
We've seen a couple, both teams making mistakes with their serves. I guess, again, the pressure, how important this set is.
Axel, number 22, to serve with a nice little standing float. Gordon picks it up, rolls over onto the floor, makes a little bit of a scene. Finley to set. Tion to hit, and the ball is shanked out of the court. Point to York, bringing the aggregate score 10 to York, 12 to Lancaster. The crowd going wild, saying...
And if you're listening on radio, it's really important to note just the energy that is going into these serves and these hits. It's very difficult to kind of have both that control and that power.
Axel to serve again. Gordon picking the ball up. Eric to set. Alex to hit. And it is out. Oh, it's a touch out. It's a touch out, unfortunately, for York. However, Lancaster did need that. Now it's 13-10 to Lancaster with number 86 to serve.
Contrary to what the crowd might say, you may not always see them shank that ball, but sometimes there is a block touch on a ball that is going out, which means that it is Lancaster's point.
Tian to hit. Another shank from number 74. Benjamin, the opposite. The crowd going wild again. I think that is one of York's favorite chants. It's to the window, to the wall. We saw you shank that ball. And unfortunately, I think those chants are really getting into that opposite's head. He's really, I don't think he's, Finley making a little bit of an error on the serve, but that's all right. And then middle tipping the ball over. That looked like it could have been a double. However, the ref doesn't call that.
I mean, at this point in the game, you've been playing for a good amount of time now. You must be feeling a little bit the tiredness. It must be quite hard, I imagine, with the serves to keep that precision, to keep that control.
Yes, especially with the pressure of the game, it is possible that it might be getting to some of the players with how demanding the game is physically. So it is not quite uncommon to see kind of mistakes in the players with their serves. But Lancaster has just served with a beautiful float.
Lucas upping that ball, Finley to set, and then a pipe hit from Sam Ip. And it goes out. Point to Lancaster, bringing the score to 15 to Lancaster, 11 to York. But that was still a phenomenal up from Lucas Churchill, the captain and libero.
Gordon made a good call there, that it was out and not to go for it.
That was pretty good. So the captain, Eric, number 83, I believe. We'll see. He should be number 83 if I remember correctly. I can't really see his shirt number now, but he is the captain and the setter of the Lancaster team. He's just waiting at the service line for a substitution to be made.
Yeah.
Jude Race, and the crowd goes wild for Jude Race.
An 83 for Lancaster. He's only been playing setter for the last year, but you wouldn't know his serves have been really good.
He's been doing a phenomenal job
also,
so far.
86 has also been Jamie Wilson. Has also been
lovely leave from Lucas Churchill, letting that ball go straight out. Unfortunate for the setter of Lancaster, but it is what it is. Sometimes you serve in, sometimes you serve out, and that's just how volleyball works. Tian to serve with his jump spin. Here goes, toss the ball in the air, serves that ball. Nice pass from Alex. Eric to set. Alex coming straight back to hit. Ooh! An unfortunate blunder from number 92, the middle. That
so
makes
number
it
12 there, doing an excellent job. And apparently they were the runner-up for the role of Harry Potter. But I think volleyball is definitely their calling.
If you are just tuning in, the score is currently 15 to Lancaster, 13 to York. Lancaster have already won 2 sets, only need 1 more to win. And Tian from York has just served.
Set from Eric, hit from the middle, but there was definitely a net touch. The question is, who touched the net? And it was Lancaster.
So that's a point to York.
Ooh, the Lancaster team is getting a little riled up now. I think the first ref might call the second ref over.
There have been a couple of quite contested, referee
that is
decisions.
probably the most contested call of volleyball thus far in Roses. There was a lot of disagreement from the Lancaster side, but it is ultimately York's point. Jump spin serve from Tian, and that is out. What a great leave from the libero, Gordon.
And I believe York have used up all their timeouts now, haven't they? So they can't pull out they can't have a break, which I guess that's also a tactic that you have to think about, like how, when are you going to use your timeouts? You don't want to use maybe them all up.
Yeah, so if you didn't know, you only get 2 timeouts per set of 30 seconds, and they are often used to kind of help calm down the players if the other team have gotten a consistent string of points. But York are only 2 away now from catching up to Lancaster. It is currently Lancaster up to serve. Number 84, Alex, the outside. And he gets it over in a float.
Lucas, unfortunately, shanking that ball. Lancaster stealing York's chant once again and putting it right back in York's face. about how their libero and the captain has just shanked that ball. Alex Lara at the service line getting ready to serve again. He's got a classic little service routine. Toss the ball up, hit it a couple times, and that is a lovely, lovely serve. Great hit. Oh, and that is Dan getting the ball up, and an unfortunate mistake from Tian on the York side.
I have to say, I've been really impressed by the liberos on both teams, actually. And it's such a fascinating role. Being that defensive specialist, I think it's quite unique to volleyball, that kind of role where they can only be in the kind of backcourts. Yeah, it's really fascinating to see them.
Yeah, so I think York have just called a timeout. So this is another 30-second timeout in which the teams can kind of reset and refocus themselves in the middle of a string of points.
And York will be really wanting to kind of continue that momentum, get closer to Lancaster. A reminder, Lancaster currently on 18 points, York on 14 in this third set, and they're playing to 25.
Yeah, so you can see now in their huddle, you have their coach, Costas, who is the M1 captain and setter, and their club president, Connor Brown, just trying to hype the team up, keep them calm. Connor just gave Alex a little bit of a head rub. I think he's just trying to keep him motivated and make sure that he stays focused and doesn't get ahead of himself.
A really important timeout. I mean, it's worth saying that in the Division 3 in which York played, I think they lost their kind of opening matches, but actually came back at the end of the season. Yeah. So they have experience, I guess, of coming from back down and kind of building it up again. But that will be really crucial.
Serve again. Nice serve. A little bit of an overpass from Lucas, but a great up from Roger. Jude Race getting the ball up. But the point goes to Lancaster. The second ref calls an under the net foot fault.
So if you are not aware, it is actually an illegal fault to go underneath the net, to have your whole foot over the line that runs underneath the net, which means that it is currently Lancaster up to serve again. Number 84.
His serves have been really strong as well, so he presents a real challenge, I think, to York.
Ooh, and a shank from York. Oh, the libero, Lucas, has unfortunately shanked the ball out, which means that it is Lancaster up to serve again.
The libero for York is also their captain, so he kind of has the added pressure, I guess, at this point of not only having to do your role, but also to lead your team in a kind of difficult moment.
Yeah, I think I feel that, unfortunately, the pressure is getting to Lucas a little bit. He has made a few silly mistakes. Alex to serve again. And that is an overpass from York, and number 85 just slamming the ball straight back down.
We have seen a couple of issues just over that net. That was a very skilled, very well done.
You have to have really precise passes, otherwise you're giving the opposition an advantage, and that is what York have been doing quite a bit. So the ball's going over the net, and Lancaster have just been smacking that ball straight back down.
Yeah, so number 85, that's Elliot Smith, and he is actually a first year. But again, he's showing a lot of experience. This is his first Roses, but I don't think that you would necessarily know that from watching him.
Number 84, Alex Lara to serve again. I wonder how many service aces, not aces, sorry, but how many points he scored for his team at the service line.
The crowd really ramping up now as Lancaster are getting very close to that magic 25 points needed to win this set.
Yeah, so they've really gotten into the swing of things now. And another shank from York. So you can see what happens when a team really gets into a pattern of serving and the other team shanking the balls. The crowd is getting really excited, which means that there is a great connection between the crowd and Lancaster.
And also
so will they be able to keep this up? There's now a 6, 7, 8 point difference. Sorry.
Tremendous pressure for York as well in this moment, because they know that if Lancaster win this set, they win the game. So they obviously have that kind of added pressure, which I think can add to those kind of mistakes being made.
No, exactly. And sometimes it just happens where the pressure starts to get to you a little bit because the other team have been consistently serving.
And it's such a difficult game, I think, as well, because the power that's involved, you also have to balance that with precision, control, and also just think, the players have been on the court now for a long time. It's a very physically demanding game as well.
Yes, unfortunately, strength and force is not all that's needed to succeed in volleyball. You do need to have precise technique in order to be able to match the other team. Great float from Lancaster and another shank from York. Unfortunately, from player June.
So if you're just joining us, 23 points to Lancaster, 14 to York in this third set. Lancaster have won the first 2 sets, so they are 2 points away from winning this set and winning the game overall, which would be their first win so far in the volleyball of this year's
That
Roses.
looks like it's going to be out, and it is out. Unfortunately, Alex Lara's point run comes to an end, and it could not have come at a better time for York.
York really need to capitalise on this and get the momentum back for them.
Alex Lara now getting subbed off for number 87. I think they just want to give some of the players a little bit of playing time. You know, Alex has done a phenomenal job so far, and honestly, the entire bench is hyping him up, giving him some nice claps.
It's nice to see that, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like
he's just going
to
to
see how close they are as a team.
Yeah. Now Dan Robinson to serve on the York side. A nice pickup, a nice dig set. Tip, Jude Race picking it up. Yifan to set. Axel to hit. The ball is up, looking like it's going over to York side, and it is. Yifan to set. Roger to hit, off the block. Eric to set. Oh, not Eric to set, the middle to set. And then that is Yifan dig setting the ball over. A roll shot over, a nice pickup, a nice set, and a hit, tip, block, off the block, out.
So the all-important Lancaster are on 24 points. They just need one more point to win this set and ultimately the game overall. It's best of 5 sets, and they have 2 sets, and the crowd, you can hear them, they're very excited. They know how important this is.
They are chanting one more point because indeed Lancaster only needs one more point to win. This is an incredibly high pressure moment.
Oh.
And the ball goes out, and Lancaster wins.
So Lancaster have won. They've won their first volleyball game, and I think also, bear in mind the wider picture of Roses, I think that takes Lancaster very close to overall victory as well in Roses. So
yes. We want to thank you so much for watching this game.
That was really great to watch. I mean,
that was really, really exciting. Both teams made an incredibly valiant effort.
It's really nice to see, obviously, the Lancaster players are celebrating with their supporters, but also really nice to see all the York fans coming onto the court as well.
Yes.
It's really lovely to see that kind of sportsmanship and that support because everyone knows, you know, just how difficult it is. It's such an effort on.
Yeah, it is, as we said previously, volleyball is an incredibly supportive community. So this same thing happened last year as well. Anytime the game finished, all the crowd came onto the court to support their players, whether or not they won or lost. And it is truly heartwarming to see.
If you've enjoyed this volleyball game as well, don't despair because there's more volleyball to come. In fact, you're going to be playing later.
Exactly. Myself and Maya, our other commentator, will actually be on to play very shortly. The Women's 2 York team will be playing against the Women's 2 Lancaster team. So we've got another very exciting game for you guys.
So really make sure to stick around if you're enjoying the volleyball coverage. I mean, there were so many standout. I feel like all the players did a fantastic job, but I think especially I was really impressed with the Lancaster team. Their servers, I thought, did a really fantastic job, especially Alex, I think.
Lancaster had some fantastic servers and some great blockers. I was really impressed by that. As a middle blocker myself, I can truly respect the hustle.
Lots of celebrations.
We can see all the celebrations going on now.
But yeah, it wasn't being, obviously, I think the score, obviously, Lancaster winning 3 sets, but I think actually having watched the game, it perhaps was a little bit closer than maybe the scoreline might suggest, because we did see, I mean, York almost took that second set. They were very close.
Yeah, I agree. The second set finished on 25-23, so there was some real exciting play going on where there were some real moments where we weren't sure who was actually going to win.
I think that we are lucky enough to get to speak to some Lancaster players. Congratulations on the win, guys.
Yeah, congratulations on the win, first of all, guys. Oh, we're looking the wrong way. So we are currently joined by the captain of the team, Eric, and their outside hitter, Alex. How do you guys feel about the game?
I think it was a nice game. We showed how we can fight. That comeback was incredible. I think we showed how consistency was very important in this game. And yeah, we just trained so hard for this moment.
Well, I feel very tired after this game. I think our team showed that just by playing basic volleyball, we can still win. Being consistent, doing serves, whatever our captain tells us. And personally, it was a fun game. The crowd, both York and Lancaster, was crazy. Everyone cheering up. And yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, so as I was saying during the stream, Alex and I had a little chat yesterday, and we were talking about how he was the secret weapon of the second team, and he did end up, I think, in my opinion, you were probably the MVP of the team today. So how does that feel? How do you feel about your personal performance in that game today?
My performance was not like the best one. I'm injured right now, so my vertical jump is not as it used to be. However, thanks to Eric's sets, they're always perfect for me. They're always very consistent. We've been playing together a lot of time. So without Eric and without my team, that with their passes and the receives, I wouldn't be able to play as I played today. So it was basically thanks to my team, but yeah, I'm pretty happy.
And you had amazing support from the Lancaster fans who were really like cheering you on. What difference did it make having such a great support from the crowd?
Well, like having all my teams from volleyball cheering me up, that hypes me a lot. Also, it hypes me, it's a bit strange, but when York kept shouting at me, like when I was going to serve or I was going to spike or when even they blocked me, that made me like go better, put more effort on my game. And also York cheering helped me a lot, but it was thanks to my friends with my thingy with the white monster.
I think we need to wrap it up, but once again, congratulations, guys. You both played amazing, and I think this was a very monumental step for the Lancaster volleyball team today.
Thank you. Thanks for speaking to us. Congratulations.
All right, and now we are joined by the York captain, Lucas Churchill. Lucas, how do you feel after that game? You played phenomenally. You had some really, really good ups. I know it can be really hard to manage both your own gameplay and manage the responsibility of leading a team. So how do you think you performed? How do you think your team did? Give us a little insight.
Obviously, we really wanted that win. It was unfortunate, but we gave it our best. Their serves were really messing us up. So the fair play to Lancaster. They put in the work, and it paid off. But I'm very, very proud of the team. We've improved a lot this year. So as long as we gave it our best, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think, as you said, your team has improved a lot this year, coming back from just 4 wins in the entirety of your Bucks season. And so I think that you really put on a good show and you put up a good fight. It was really close. And so I think that you should be proud of your performance today. Do you have any words of motivation to your team after that performance? Is there anything you can say to UIVC?
Keep moving forward, keep your head up. Just strive to improve every day. That's all you can do.
And I think you'll be looking forward to the comeback next year because Lucas is going to be the captain of M2 once again next year. So I think he's going to be looking for that taste of revenge next year during Roses. Isn't that right, Lucas?
Lancaster, watch out. We're coming for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We're done.
So, yeah, that's the end of the volleyball second open game. Lancaster took the win. They won in 3 straight sets. It's a 5-set game, but it's best of 5, so in the end it didn't go to 5 sets. I mean, York put on a really good show as well. They almost took the second set, but Lancaster just proved too strong ultimately in the end. I mean, Lancaster did a great job as well. They had some fantastic serves, especially very powerful. So yeah, thank you for watching and listening.